Ever struggled with a Jack Russell Terrier that's a little more stubborn than you initially thought that they would be? I think we've all been there, and that's what today's video is going to be all about. We're going to talk about how stubborn a Jack Russell Terrier can be, when you will likely notice the stubbornness coming out of them, and what you can do about it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Terrier Owner YouTube channel. Josh here with TerrierOwner.com. We got Luna here too with TerrierOwner.com, out to give you a rundown of how stubborn she can be. Real quick, before we dive into that, guys, if you're new to the channel and you like to learn about Jack Russell Terriers, watch some fun videos along the way, and get to see Luna here interacting, be sure to subscribe to the channel down below, and never forget to visit us over at TerrierOwner.com. Check out the useful blogs. But for now, guys, let's go ahead and dive into this topic of stubbornness with Jack Russell Terriers, what you can expect, and what you can do about it. And to kickstart things, guys, let's go ahead and just get it out in the open here. Jack Russell Terriers are a stubborn dog. They are known to be a stubborn dog, and they have plenty of ways and certain triggers that cause you to notice the stubbornness happen relatively quickly. So the first thing I'm going to do is just dive into 6 things that whenever I do them with Luna, I notice her being more stubborn than you would typically notice a dog acting stubborn or trying to get their way. Jack Russells have a few things that they really tend to do more than other dogs, and the first one, guys, to kick things off is getting fixated on things during walks. This is a very tough one to break, especially when your Jack Russell is young, and whenever this happens, typically it's an animal running through a yard. It could be another dog, it could be cars, it could be people on bicycles, it could just be a mailbox that looks funny to your dog. But when this happens, your Jack Russell is all of a sudden completely deaf. They no longer want to listen to you. They don't know their name anymore, and all training seems like it's gone out the window. It is not just you that this happens to. A Jack Russell with that hunting instinct, if they pick up a scent or they notice something that they don't really like, they tend to get fixated very hard on those things. Again, guys, make sure you stick around to the end of the video, because I will be going over some of the things that you can do to help break some of these habits with your Jack Russell. But first, let's go ahead and dive into number 2, which is leash pulling. So notice how the first 2 things that I've discussed this far about the stubbornness with a Jack Russell Terrier are related to walking your dog. Leash pulling is number 2. If you're not using a harness or a good leash, it is very difficult to get a Jack Russell Terrier who can walk without leash pulling right out of the gates. They get too excited, they have a ton of energy, and the second that they see something, they are wanting to go after it. Again, I will cover a few of the tips that you can use to try and get rid of this. Number 3 is licking your face while trying to make a video. Just kidding, that's not a real one on the list today. Guys, number 3 on the list today for when you'll notice some stubbornness with your Jack Russell is barking. This is a dog that can be audible, and barking can be a nuisance behavior that they get in the habit of, especially if you are always around things that can trigger barking. So for us in particular, we have a neighbor who just got a new dog, lives next door. The fence is tall enough where they can't really see each other, but it's just enough of gaps in between the posts to where Luna here can still know that there's a dog there. She can hear his collar jingling around, and they have figured each other out at this point. Of course, this brings on the barking out of Luna, and when she's in that mode where she is barking like crazy, it is very difficult to get her attention or to get her out of that state of mind. This isn't the only kind of barking you will experience either with a Jack Russell. Luna actually barks when I let my other dog outside. This kind of barking is more of a trying to get my attention and let me know that, hey, I want to go outside and play too. And she will bark whenever other people walk up the driveway by looking out the front window, or if somebody comes into the house, especially if she doesn't recognize them. But so far, barking has probably been one of the most difficult behaviors to get out of her. I have not successfully been able to get her to stop barking at the neighbor dog yet. That is new to her, though. They just adopted this dog in the last, I would say, 30 days or so. Before that, the yard was pretty isolated from other pets, at least, so the barking was pretty much controlled when she was outside, unless, you know, somebody would walk up to the fence, a neighbor on the other side or a neighbor in the back of the house. But this is an area where I have seen that her attention span drops, her obedience drops, and when they enter that state of mind, again, it's very tough to get normal commands or what you desire out of them. Okay guys, number 4 is recall training with a Jack Russell. When it becomes successful, it goes very well, but in the beginning, this is one of the most difficult things to do with the Jack Russell, and when they can be stubborn the most. And I attribute that to their high energy. Learning to come whenever their name is called, or learning to do something specific when their name is called, is especially difficult when they are young or when they are very hyper. Let's say that they're just doing their normal zoomies around the living room and running like a mad woman. That is one of the examples I'm trying to get across here. If you're trying to get them to come to you, let's say in an adjoining room of the house, or you want to fill up their food bowl because it's time to eat, but they're already sprinting in circles around the house, burning off some of that energy, etc., the stubbornness will show its face during those moments because they are going to finish what they are doing a lot of the time, especially when they are young, before they begin just immediately responding to you. Sometimes even my older yellow lab can act like this. If he is fixated on something, everything he's ever been taught, everything he has learned along the way goes out the window. Dogs are often like this unless they are just really, really trained extraordinarily well. I think that both my dogs understand basic obedience, but at the same time, I'm not an expert trainer by any means. So they have kind of the baseline of what they should have, and whenever you're trying to get their attention during these moments where they're sprinting around or already playing with somebody else in the house, maybe they found a toy, it is very difficult for them to exit stubborn phase and do what they are being asked to do. Guys, number 5 is a little bit out of the box. I don't think that everybody understands this about a Jack Russell, but I found Luna here to be extremely stubborn with eating whenever we first adopted her. She is a very picky eater with her dog food. We use a Blue Buffalo dry food for her right now, but she has one piece, like it's a mixture of dry food. There's different, little pieces within that dried food, and she has one piece that she absolutely hates, and she will pick up all of the other pieces, eat those, grab the pieces she doesn't like, discard them from her bowl, and just set them out on the floor next to the food bowl. That is, if that's not an example of being stubborn, I don't know what is. But it can be annoying for sure because you have to clean up those little pieces that they don't like. But we didn't even have the food that she liked in the beginning. She was so picky. But be prepared that your Jack Russell might be a picky eater. Guys, the next one where you're definitely going to notice a Jack Russell being stubborn is when you want playtime to be over. If you start playtime, you should probably finish playtime because they don't want to stop. Even if it's with a friend, another family member, you, the kid, the wife, whoever it is, when they start playtime, they want to keep going. They don't want to stop, whether you're playing with a toy, whether they're getting attention just like a belly rub or a head scratch. They will continue to lift up your hand with their nose to get pet more. They will jump right back in your lap whenever you think that you're done playing, or they will bring a toy right back to you if they want to keep going. Playtime is not something that a Jack Russell takes lightly, and it's not something that they want to end without them being the one that's calling the shots on when playtime is over. So the next question that typically arises whenever you're talking about stubbornness with one of these Jack Russells is what can you do about it? And the answer to that is more training, more discipline, more obedience, and more exercise. Some of these stubborn behaviors are just kind of fixated into their personality. They are going to keep doing things no matter how much training that they get. You're not going to find a Jack Russell that can just automatically terminate the want or desire to exercise because you want it to happen. However, whenever you provide the exercise or find ways to burn off the energy, they're typically not going to find ways to be in a mindset where they ignore you as often. So the first thing I would always recommend is providing them exercise, finding more ways for them to burn off some steam so that they are more receptive and more willing to listen to you during other parts of the day. The next thing, guys, is you need to remain consistent with basically everything you do with this dog. It starts from when they're a puppy, right when you get home, and right when they start becoming socialized. But you can use little tricks that have been discussed on tons of videos that other experts talk about, but they do make a big difference in the long term. Do things such as try not to allow them up in your bed or on your furniture. I'm not saying that if you do that, you're not doing something right. Luna here does get up on our couch and sits with us, but she does not sleep in our bed with us. Teaching them that they don't run the house is kind of the moral of the story I'm trying to get here. Whenever you let them outside or you're going outside with them on a walk, you should be walking out first. They should always think that you're in charge or that you're leading the pack, so to speak. When you feed them and fill up their food bowl, they should need to sit down before they can just start attacking their food bowl. Luna here is actually very good at that. My other yellow lab is terrible at that. He would probably eat the bowl as you're setting it down. He's just always been a beast of an eater for whatever reason. And when you're on walks, guys, work on leash pulling. Have the proper equipment. Use things like a harness. Use a no-pull style leash. Maintain control and train them as you're completing these walks. When they're doing a good job, reward them. When they're not doing a good job, get their attention and let them know. Those kinds of things. But again, guys, the key with that is consistency. Can you completely remove stubbornness 100% out of a Jack Russell? No. It is not going to happen, but can you make them consistently get better, more receptive, and more obedient dogs along the way? Absolutely. You just need to keep working with them as you go. And guys, I love to hear what kind of tactics you guys use to make your Jack Russell less stubborn, more obedient, and not do the things that we have discussed in this video. So please be sure to leave us some comments down below with the methods that you use for your Jack Russell Terrier. And if you enjoy these kind of videos, guys, or you find them helpful, or you just like seeing Luna here out on camera, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to give us the thumbs up on this video, because when you do that, it helps us out immensely with the YouTube algorithm, gets seen by other terrier owners. The exact same way that when you go to terrierowner.com, by typing that into your web address bar, that helps us get seen by more people on Google that own these dogs as well, which ultimately helps us help more people and reach more people. So don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to give us that thumbs up. Don't forget to head over to terrierowner.com. Type in any question you want on the website. We probably have a related blog post or a how-to tutorial on that topic. And otherwise, guys, we will see you on Sunday in the next video. We appreciate you stopping by. Happy New Year's and take care.